Hello, chat. How are you guys doing? Oops. How you doing? What's up, Disco Chixify? You are first. Congratulations. Hey, Losh. I'm glad you're here. What's up, Wing Chun? Hello. Hey, Hope. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Sal. You gonna fall asleep tonight? That's okay. Sleeping is good. I need more sleep. What's up, Nikki? How's it going? All right. Let's do this. Let's do some Wordle. Car, 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 car. Verify. Oh, hey. How come it's working these days? What's going on? Okay, let's do this. Let's do it quick. All right, the quickest. Oh. Oh, okay. Obviously, it's truer. It's truer. Obviously. True Trump. Nope. Truck. It's obviously truck. It's obviously truce. It's obviously truff, trud, trude, true. It's obviously trouble, trump, trunk, trung. That's a Vietnamese last name. It's obviously truffles. Troll. Truly. It's truly. It's gotta be truly, right? Ly. Can it be anything else? Trub, truve, trucks, trues, trud. It's truly. No! Oh shit. It must be trundle, trunk, trund, trud, Trudy. What is it? True, truts. Trudy. Truth. It must be truth. Oh god, can it be something else? Well, it's too late now. Truth. Trug. It's gotta be truth, right? Ah. 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 Oh shit. You guys didn't see that, did you? um. Well, I did very well. I got it. We being ignored. Well, I can't look at the chat while I play this. That would be cheating. What if you guys like tell me the answer? Fake stats. Restart. I'll restart it. Okay. I'll restart it. Bloop. Okay, let's do it again. Hold on. We can do this. We can do this. No! Oh, cars. 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 Is that a car? No. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Truth. Oh, we got it. We got it. Okay, good. Cemental. Cemental. Okay. Trying to cheat. All right. Showing us the screen is not cheating. I don't know. Showing you the screen is not cheating. But I can't look at the chat while I'm playing Wordle. That would be cheating. No? Give me 1 second. Da, 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 da. All right. Let's do this. Make it quick this time, guys. Make it quick. Puzzle. Hint. Clue. Spy. Detective. Murder. Killing. Destruction. Suspect. Scene, like a crime scene? Crime. Oh? Criminal. Prisoner. Jail. Guilty. Boss. Mafia. Cell. Police. Okay. Guard? Like a prison guard? Do we do prison? Criminal. Gangster. Nope. Convict. Money? Robbery? Or robber? Robber? Criminal. Jailer? Whoa! I put Gowler and it knew that I wanted jailer. What? Can it do that? Kind of cheating. Mobster. Criminal. Thief. Oh, I misspelled it. Thief. Gowler is a word. But why wouldn't it take Gowler? Jailer. Extortion. Criminal. Criminal. Oh, criminal. So if I do jailer, is it the same word? Okay, it takes the same. Criminal. Attack. Terrorist. Up there. Bomb. Explode. Heist. Hmm. What is it? What is it? What is it? Criminal. Bars. Toilet. Arrest. Handcuffs. All right. What's going on? Criminal. 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 Crime. Steal. Copy. Pirate. Pickpocket. Okay. Convict, we tried that. I think we're going down the wrong tree. Okay. What is tangential to criminals? Lawyer. Judge. Jury. Executioner. Law. Hut! Rule. Constitution. Independence. Rights. Bill. Bill. Law. Decree. A bill turns into a law. Vote. Pass. Freedom. America. Freedom. Justice. I like that. Congress. Oh, court. Legislation. Legislator. Oh my God. Congressman. Congress member. We tried Congress, right? Oh. Government. Legislator. Judicial. Executive. What is it? What is it? House. Representative. Senator. Senate. Parliament. Government. We would try that. President. Capital. Capital. Wait, what is it? Judiciary. We tried that, I think. Didn't we? That was like super low. What was that? Oh, we didn't try that. Judiciary. Legislature. House. Congress. Wait, what is it? What can it be? Legislation. Legislate. What? What is it? We tried legislation, right? Legislature. bill, law, pass, government, capital, legal. We had senator, we had senate, president, judge, justice, legislative. I think we try that. Legislative. Oh, we didn't try that? I thought I did. Okay. Yay! Good job. Good job, guys. Okay. We tried different forms of legislate, but I guess we didn't try that yet. Good job. Where's my controls? Well, cool. Oh, did you guys see that one video of that YouTube prankster getting shot? Oh my god. Yeah, it was like this YouTube prankster pranking a dude, and the dude gets mad and he just pulls out a gun and shoots him. Man, that's crazy. You know what, really? Man, seeing someone getting shot on video, it felt so good. Oh my god, it felt so good. I hate YouTube pranksters, okay? Those channels have got to go. I hate them. They're terrible. They're just annoying everyone. They should all go away. Did he prank him in Texas? The prank it wasn't even like a funny thing. It was the guy, the prankster, the YouTuber, he walks up to another guy, and this guy was a like a DoorDash guy or Uber Eats guy or something. He's one of those food delivery guys. Right. So he's going to get his food to deliver, and then the YouTuber comes up and he plays some obnoxious lines on his phone, and he puts it to the guy's face. Right, and he wouldn't go away, and the guy's like, go away, and he wouldn't do it, and he just keeps following the guy. And finally the guy gets mad, and he pulls out his gun and he shoots him. I think in the belly. Yeah. Whoops. It's crazy. I hate YouTube pranksters, but you know what? It seems like everyone on the internet is against the prankster, the YouTuber, which I get. But I mean, is that really a reason to shoot someone? And yeah, and he did it pretty quickly too. It wasn't like he was following him for 5 minutes. It was like probably 10 to 20 seconds. Yeah, before the guy pulls it out, and he's pretty nonchalant about it too. He pulls it up, bam, shoots him, and then walks away. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. The YouTuber he went to the hospital. He didn't die. He survived. Okay. Which is good. The shooter went to court, and what's amazing is that he was convicted of unlawfully discharging a firearm, something like that. But he wasn't convicted for the main crime, the biggest one, which is like which is what? Aggressively discharging a firearm or something like that. Maliciously discharging a firearm. Yeah. So he was not convicted of that because of self-defense. So he got off on the self-defense, and he said his life was in danger and he was scared, and that's why he shot. And apparently, there wasn't enough to convict him, and and they let him go on that one charge. I feel like the guy had a gun and he just really wanted to use it. I don't know. It happened pretty quickly. Yeah, even though I disagree with it, man, it did feel good though. Just watching it happen. And I remember this too. This was this case. This happened like several months ago. I remember this, and I went to this guy's YouTube channel, and this is all he does. And he goes to people, like just random strangers, and he's just being obnoxious. Like he goes to people in grocery stores and he just takes their groceries. What the fuck? That's not funny. Yeah, this happened a while ago, and then like I think this week or last week, the trial ended. Yeah. Man, that's some crazy shit. But you know what? The guy, the shooter, yeah, he just shot him and then he just went off. You know what? I want that guy to be my Uber Eats driver. Man's not letting anything delay his delivery. That guy deserves a tip. You shot your guy in the stomach once, but it was a BB gun. Oh shit. How was he? For once, someone who deserved to get shot. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, do you guys want to see the video? It was pretty quick. I don't know. I can show it, right? Well, if it's on YouTube, I can show it, right? Maybe. YouTube prankster shot. I mean, if it's on YouTube, it's on YouTube. So obviously I can play it. This one.
Water is sexy. Air Up flavors water through scent.
So this is the asshole.
What? Hey, Dip, quit thinking about my twinkle. What's that mean? Hey, Dip, quit thinking about my twinkle. No. Hey, Dip, quit thinking about my twinkle. Get on my face and call cops on you. Stop. Hey, Dip, quit thinking about my twinkle. Stop.
Whoop. Okay, that's enough of that. Oops. Yeah, that's it. Now I get it. Like he's being aggressive, so like he's probably in fear of his life. But I still think he shouldn't have shot him in the stomach. Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, hey, this is America, guys. Don't go up to people and be obnoxious. You're gonna get shot. Okay. Who knows who's carrying? Okay. Who knows? You don't know. Anyone could be carrying, so don't do it. All right, let's see. Gotta bring chapter 2 up. If that guy delivered that food, man, he deserves a tip. You wonder if his prank video was his most watched or successful one. Well, let's see. Hold on. I think I checked his channel. It wasn't that big. It was like 50K or something, 60K or something. YouTube Prankster shot. Okay, what is his name? Tanner Cook. Classified goons. Okay, let's see. How many likes did that video get? I don't even know if that video is on YouTube. Did he upload it? I mean, he should. It's gonna get a lot of views.
For the first time.
Oh, I got shot. Okay, he did. It's 60K. Let's see. Let's see what he got. Yeah, it seems like pretty high. 432K. Meanwhile, his average is like what? 100, 90, 60, 60. Oh, wait, no, this is like 506. Okay, no, that's pretty high. It's pretty high. Not bad. What a loser. True. Yeah, I think the one that I saw that was this one. Yeah, he's taking people's groceries. Oh my god. Oh, that got me so mad. Yeah. Just going around taking people's groceries. And I think like one dude got really mad. And he followed him. I think he punched him too. Good. See, punches are okay. I like that. Anyways, guess what I got? Banana cream covered cocoa biscuit sticks. Wow, it's a long name. Now, I don't like banana, so not sure about this one. Okay. Ooh, okay. Wow. That is super banana. Oh my god. All I taste is banana. It's just a 100% banana taste. Yeah. Gonna have to be like a 4, guys. 4 out of 10. It's just a really strong banana taste. All right. You guys ready? All right. What happened last time? So last time, if you remember, our hero Di-yoon, he's fighting with his bullies in front of everyone. And he's kind of kicking their asses because he's using the moves that was taught by that beggar that he learned from. Okay. So he's kind of destroying them. And Wan Jingshan, the martial uncle, the birthday guy, the birthday man, accuses Di-yoon's master of teaching him the Liancheng swordplay. Now the master, his name is Qi Zhangfa, the master denies it, and he asks Di-yoon where he learned it from. But Di-yoon, remember, he promised the beggar that he wouldn't tell. So he can't tell. And then afterwards, the master and the martial uncle, they meet in a room where Wan Jingshan, he accuses the master of stealing their master's martial arts manual, causing their master's death. Okay, so these two were in the same sect, and they had a master. Apparently, the master died, and someone stole their master's martial arts manual. While they're having this argument, the disciples are standing outside. They're listening to them argue because apparently these walls are not very thick. Now, Wan Jingshan, he tells Qi Zhangfa to hand over the manual. And then, because this is after all they're arguing, then the master says, all right, I'll give it to you. Okay, so this is what everyone hears. And then everyone hears a scream. And then they run in and they see Wan Jingshan, the martial uncle, dead with a dazzling dagger on his chest. Okay, and they see that the window is open and Qi Zhangfa is gone. And then the martial uncle's disciples, they chase after Qi Zhangfa, but of course they can't find him. And then really quickly afterwards, the disciples trick Di-yoon. They frame him of sexually assaulting a concubine of the martial uncle's. Okay, yeah. So this concubine is pretending that she was being molested, she was being assaulted, and then Di-yoon jumps in to save her, but then she grabs onto him. Then she says, "Oh, this guy is trying to rape me." And then everyone comes in and everyone sees him, and then they start accusing him of doing it. But it seems like this was the disciples framing Di-yoon. And one of the disciples, he cuts off all of Di-yoon's fingers in his right hand, which was very surprising. And Di-yoon gets thrown in jail. And in jail, his ordeal is not done yet. In jail, Di-yoon finds that he has chains that are attached to his scapula, okay, which is a punishment that's reserved for the most heinous of criminals. And he finds that his cellmate is this bearded man who eats his food. Okay, so Di-yoon is not having a great time. One day, the martial sister, Qi Feng, she visits him with Wan Gui. Now, Wan Gui is the son of that dead martial uncle. And now, Wan Gui, he acts all nice and stuff. All right, and then Qi Feng says that Wan Gui is going to try to free him, to try to free Di-yoon. So it seems like Wan Gui is this big liar, and it seems like he just wants to marry Qi Feng right now. So he's trying to get on her good side. And then they leave. So Di-yoon is in jail with this bearded man for a while. And once in a while, the guards take the bearded man out, okay, for a while, and then they bring him back. He's all bloody when he comes back. Okay, so once in a while this happens. This happens several times. So it seems like this bearded man has a secret that the authorities are trying to get it out of him, and they can't. And it seems like the bearded man thinks that Di-yoon is a spy sent to figure out his secret, so he doesn't trust Di-yoon. And on Di-yoon's part, he kind of feels bad for this bearded man. And one day, when the guards are they're trying to take the bearded man out again, Di-yoon, he jumps in front and he yells at them, "Don't come in!" So he's trying to stop this bearded man from getting beaten up. And that's where we stopped. How's that? All right, you ready? This is A Deadly Secret, Chapter 2, Part 2. So he shouts, "Don't come in." A jailer with a big build approached him and scolded, "Stupid prisoner! Move out of the way!" Di-Yun could not gather any strength in his hands, so instead, he lowered his head and bit the jailer hard on the middle and index finger of his right hand. Blood gushed out of his wounds, the teeth sunk deep into the bones, and the fingers nearly cracked. The jailer was shocked beyond measure, and immediately turned around and jumped out of the cell. He slipped and dropped his saber on the ground. Di-Yun quickly lowered himself and grabbed the saber, screaming loudly and hacked 3 times. Although he did not have much energy in his hands, but with the saber replacing the sword, the stances were still quite exquisite. A fat jailer rushed forward with his saber, and Di-Yun moved to the side. With a stance of mother and brother loses salt, the long goose salts circular wings. So remember, his master has been teaching him the wrong moves. Okay. With the wrong names. So it was actually the lonely straight smoke desert, the long river sunset falls. The blade rotated in a circular motion and stabbed the jailer's leg. The jailer was so scared that he rolled out of the way. When the 4 jailers saw that Di-Yun was as wild and fierce as a tiger, they were afraid to get too close. Instead, they stood outside the cell and started cursing at Di-Yun's 18 generations of ancestors, uttering every profanity they could think of. Di-Yun remained silent and stood guard in front of the cell door. Surprisingly, the 4 jailers did not call for reinforcements. After a while, they realized that they could not fight their way in, so they cursed and left. In the 4 days following the incident, the jailers did not bring them food or water. By the 5th day, Di-Yun was so thirsty that he could not resist anymore. The lunatic's lips were even more charred. He suddenly said, "If you pretend to kill me, that bitch will bring some water for sure." Di-Yun did not understand what the lunatic was trying to say, but thought to himself, "I don't care if this works or not, but I must try." Then he shouted loudly, "If you don't give us water now, I will hack this lunatic into pieces." He turned the saber and made some loud impact noises against the iron fence. Yeah, because they don't want this guy to die, right? This guy has some secret. Suddenly, he saw a jailer rush through frantically and yelling, "If you even dare touch a single hair on his head, I will poke 10,000 holes on your body with my blade." Following that, the jailer brought some clean water and cold rice. Di-Yun and the lunatic began to eat. Di-Yun asked, "He wants to torture you, but yet he is afraid that I will kill you. What kind of reasoning is that?" The lunatic opened his eyes, lifted his bowl, smashed it hard against Di-Yun's head, and said, "You think that just because you are pretending to get on my good side, that I will fall into your trap?" Crack! The bowl shattered into pieces. It's kind of unnecessary. Di-Yun's forehead began to drip with fresh blood. He backed off and thought to himself, "This man is going crazy again." From then on the day of the full moon every month, the jailers tortured the lunatic as usual, but upon his return, he would no longer unleash his wrath on Di-Yun. The two rarely spoke words, but if Di Yun gave more than a few glances at the lunatic, he would be reprimanded with a hard fist. The only time the lunatic showed any signs of kindness or peace was when he looked at the fresh flowers placed outside the high windows of the cell. By the spring of the 4th year, Di Yun no longer held any hopes of leaving the prison, but in his dreams he still constantly thought of his teacher and his martial sister. Although the image of his teacher gradually blurred over time, the image of his martial sister, her graceful and stalwart body, her rosy red cheeks, and her large black eyes, remained as clear as it was over 3 years ago. So he's been here for 3 years. Or spring of the 4th year, 4 years. He no longer dared to have any ideas of leaving prison to reunite with his martial sister. Every day he secretly prayed to Bodhisattva, Guan Yin, wishing that even if his martial sister would visit him once, he would be willing to suffer the tortures of the lunatic every single day. Qi Feng never came. Oh, she's gonna marry that guy, isn't she? Or maybe she already did. One day, someone came to visit him. This person was a handsome young man who wore elegant silk clothes. He laughed. Ha 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 ha. Brother D, do you still remember me? I am Shen Cheng. It had been over 3 years since they last saw each other. He grew a lot taller, to the point where Di Yun could barely recognize him. Di Yun's heart began to pound hard, as he knew there was a chance he could get some information from him about his martial sister. Where is my martial sister? He asked. Shen Cheng sent a basket over the iron fence and laughed. This is from my older sister-in-law, Brother Wan's wife. Everyone did not forget our old companion. Today is a propitious day, and as such, she asked me to deliver 2 full chickens, 4 trotters, and 16 happy cakes for you. Happy cakes? Oh, they sound delightful. Oh no, she's married, isn't she? Today is her wedding day. Di Yun quickly asked, Who is Wan's wife? What propitious day? Shen Cheng chuckled. His face let out a cunningly deceitful expression. Brother Wan's wife is exactly your martial sister, Lady Qi. I knew it! Today is the propitious day of their obeisance to marriage. She told me to deliver you these cakes and meats. Isn't that quite enough friendship? Di Yun jumped up in a flash and clung hard onto the iron fence with both his hands. He shouted, You speak nonsense! My martial sister, how would she marry the one with the surname Wan? Shen Cheng laughed. My teacher was stabbed hard by your teacher. Why am I saying teacher now? My master was stabbed hard by your master. Fortunately, he did not die and proceeded to recover from his injuries. What happened in the past, we let bygones be bygones. Oh, he didn't die, guys. He's still alive. Your martial sister lived in the Wan residence for the past 3 years, and with all the dear and sweet talk, who can say? Next year, they're guaranteed to expect a gorgeous and healthy baby. Even though Shen Cheng aged a little, his playful and glib personality did not change one bit. Di Yun's ears felt a buzzing sound, and he could only hear himself say, Where is my master? He also seemed to hear Shen Cheng laugh as he said, Who knows? He knows that he's a wanted man, and naturally would run as far away as he can. Would he dare to come back? And seemed to hear Shen Cheng laugh and say, Sister-in-law told you to continue to stay here in peace. Perhaps after she bears 3 sons and 4 daughters, she will come to visit you. Di Yun suddenly roared, You speak nonsense! Nonsense! You're full of shit! He knocked the basket away. The cake, trotters, and warm chickens fell all over the floor. Then he saw that in each and every happy cake marked the 8 words, Wan and Qi marriage, love for all seasons. Di Yun did not want to believe Shen Cheng's words, but now how could he not believe it? He drowsily heard Shen Cheng laugh. Sister-in-law said that it's unfortunate you could not attend to the wedding to drink a cup of wine. With both hands, Di Yun clung hard against the iron fence. In an instant, he extended his hands beyond the fence and held a firm grasp on Shen Cheng, strangling him. Shen Cheng was startled and wanted to escape, but Di Yun suddenly summoned such formidable strength that he was strangling him even harder. Shen Cheng's face turned from red to purple, and with both his hands, he tried to free himself, but he could not escape. The jailer quickly rushed to the scene, held Shen Cheng's body with both arms and pulled hard. Only after he used all of his energy did he manage to save Shen Cheng's life. Di Yun sat down on the ground without speaking or moving. The jailer pranced in the cell and gleefully picked up the bits and pieces of cake and chicken on the ground. Di Yun stared at him, but did not care. Ah, poor guy. So she's getting married to the guy. But why isn't she here? Why didn't she come to visit? That's kind of suspicious, no? Maybe she's being forced to marry. Maybe she's being forced to marry against her will. Yeah, because why wouldn't she come and see him? It seems to suggest that she's not, she doesn't have freedom of movement. That night, on the 3rd watch, he ripped off some pieces of his garment and made it into a rope. He tied a knot on it, and using the support of the iron fence, he climbed up, sticking his head in the noose. He no longer felt sad, nor did he feel hatred, for in his life there was no longer any love. And this would be the quickest and easiest way to end his misery once and for all. He let go, and the noose on his neck began to feel tighter and tighter, until he could no longer breathe. After a while, he lost consciousness. The bearded guy is going to save him. And he's going to know that this guy is not a spy, because why would the spy kill himself? Later, he regained consciousness and felt a big hand exerting immense pressure on his chest. He saw the hands pushing up and down, exerting force, and he felt some air entering through his nose. He did not know how much time had passed, but eventually his eyes slowly opened. He saw in front of him a face full of facial hair. The face suddenly cracked into a smile. Di Yun could not help but regain his anger. He thought to himself, "No matter what I do, you are always against me. Even now that I want to die, you aren't willing to let me die in peace." He had the intent to get up and fight with the lunatic, but he felt much too weak, and he could not exert any force. The lunatic laughed. "You stopped breathing for over an hour. If I had not used my special martial arts technique, under heaven there is no second person who can save you." Di Yun shouted in a fit of rage. "Who wants to be saved? I don't want to live." The lunatic was elated and said, "I do not want you to die, hence you will not die." The lunatic laughed as he looked at Di Yun. After a while, he moved closer and spoke in a low voice. "My technique comes from the Heavenly Glow Manual. Have you ever heard of it?" Di Yun replied in anger. "I only know that you are a heavenly psychopath. What heavenly glow or not heavenly glow? I have never heard of it." Now that Di Yun thought about it, he felt that it was quite strange. For this time, the lunatic did not express any emotions of anger, and instead gently hummed a ditty. He extended his hands and pressured Di Yun's chest, a push and a release, just like a bellow, and helped circulate the air into his lungs. He said in a low voice, "You are very fortunate to be alive. I have practiced the arts of the heavenly glow for 12 years, and it wasn't until 2 months ago did I complete it. If you had sought death 2 months ago, I could not have saved you. Di Yun began to feel depressed again as the thought of Chi Feng marrying Wan Gui entered his mind. He wished that he could have just died then and there. He gave a cold stare at the lunatic and said, I don't know how much I sinned in my previous life, that this life I would have to meet a psychopath like you. The lunatic laughed and replied, I am very happy, venerable brother. These past 3 years I have mistaken your intentions. I, Ding Dian, formally apologize to you. As he said this, he knelt on the floor and gave 3 loud kowtows. Di Yun sighed and said softly, Lunatic! And did not care for him any more. But he slowly turned his body and thought, he calls himself Ding Dian. Perhaps his surname is Ding, with the given name Dian. I have been imprisoned with him for 3 years, but I don't even know his name. He became curious and asked, What is your name? The lunatic replied, My surname is Ding, the illiterate Ding. My name is Dian, the Dian from the 3 graves and 5 codes. My suspicions were too great. All this time I thought you had bad intentions. And for the last 3 years I really gave you much pain and suffering. I have wronged you in too many ways. Di Yun thought that what the man said was reasonable, and did not have the least bit of insanity. He asked, Are you really crazy or not? Ding Dian dejected and did not reply. After a moment he gave a long sigh and said, Whether I am crazy or not, that is hard to say for sure. I only wish for inner peace. What other people see, I hope they will not believe that I am crazy to the point of unaccountability. After a while, he gave some more comforting words. Brother D, your heart is filled with sufferings of injustice. I had already figured as much. If she doesn't treat you with love or respect, why bring upon yourself so much pain to think of her? A gentleman does not suffer from the lack of a wife. In the future, you will marry a woman that exceeds the greatness of your martial sister 10 times over. What is there to feel bad about? Happy cake definition? I think it's an unfair question. What's a happy cake? I have no idea. That doesn't count. Oh, these are just like happy looking cakes. What is a Chinese happy cake? No idea, guys. Yeah, no clue. If someone can do some research, I have no idea what a happy cake is. Upon hearing these words, Di Yun wished to unleash all his sorrow and misery of the last 3 years, like the pouring of mountain torrents and avalanches all at once. He felt his chest turn sour, and tears began to pour down his face. Later, he cried as hard as he could on Ding Dian's arms. Ding Dian hugged him and gently caressed his long hair. Oh, cute. After 3 days, Di Yun's emotions began to stabilize, and he felt a bit vibrant. Ding Dian secretly talked and laughed with him, discussing the interesting stories of the realm to cure his boredom. But when it came time for the jailer to deliver food, Ding Dian would shout and curse at Di Yun, his attitude no different from what it was before. The person who once gave Di Yun endless pain and agony now suddenly became his good friend. If not for the incident of Qi Feng getting married being as unbearable as a poisonous centipede biting his heart out, what he felt right now must be heaven compared to his experiences in the past 3 years. Di Yun once questioned Ding Dian, asking him why the latter used to think he had harbored bad intentions, and why he suddenly revealed the truth. Ding Dian answered, "If you really harbored bad intentions, you would not hang yourself. I waited for your breathing to stop for a long while, a clear death. Your body was about to become stiff before I rescued you. Under heaven, no one besides myself knows that I have completed my training in the formidable art of the heavenly glow. If not for this technique, there would be no other way to save you. Your suicide was real, and most certainly not a plan to deceive me into trusting you." Will there be sad cakes in a later chapter? Probably. I have a feeling a lot of sad cakes are going to come in this story. Di Yun asked, "You thought I was deceiving you? Why?" Ding Dian only smiled and did not reply. The second time Di Yun asked the same question, Ding Dian still did not answer. Di Yun no longer asked. One night, Ding Dian whispered something to his ears. "My heavenly glow technique has the strongest internal energy foundation of any martial arts under heaven. Today, I will teach it to you. You must remember it carefully." Ooh, another teacher. Yay. Di Yun shook his head and replied, "I won't learn it." Ding Dian asked curiously, "In such circumstances, why won't you learn it?" Di Yun replied, "The days we spend here are not much better than death. The two of us have no chance of seeing life outside this prison. Even if my martial arts were higher, it would not make a difference." Ding Dian laughed. "You want to escape prison? How hard is that? I will teach you the basic mnemonics. Remember them carefully." Di Yun remained stubborn, for his suicidal tendencies had not completely vanished, so he insisted on not learning the technique. Ding Dian persuaded him with great persistence, but it was in vain. He almost wished he could beat him into submission just like before. Many days passed and the moon was full once again. Di Yun secretly felt worried for Ding Dian. Ding Dian could guess his emotions and said, "Brother Di, every month I suffer beatings from the jailers. In the past, after my beatings, I would always unleash my anger on you. You and I must not show any signs of friendship, or this will be bad for the both of us." "Why?" asked Di Yun. Ding Dian replied, "If they suspect that we have become friends, they will torture you instead to get information out of me. If I beat you and curse at you, it will prevent you from being tortured by methods many times more cruel." Di Yun nodded and replied, "You are right. This information is so important. You mustn't let me know about it for the fear that my tongue will slip and reveal it. Brother Ding, I am a rustic from the countryside. If I speak any nonsense and foil your plans, how can I ever forgive myself?" Ding Dian replied, "You and I were imprisoned together for a long time. At first I thought you were sent by them as a spy, faking good intentions to deceive me in hopes of getting me to leak out information. And so I treated you with utmost disrespect and hatred, giving you the most painful of tortures. Now I realize that you are not a spy. But since they have imprisoned us together for the past 3 or 4 years without release, their intent is to expect you to be a spy, in hopes that you will get on my good side. If I reveal any information to you, they will torture you instead. They know that I will not speak no matter what, but against a young man like you, it will be much easier. You are a criminal under the magistrate, sent to the prefecture to be imprisoned, and naturally they could use this excuse to torture you. On the evening of the 15th, 4 jailers brought Ding Dian out of his cell. Di Yun felt troubled and awaited his return. When Ding Dian returned on the 4th watch, his eyes were blue and his nose was swollen, his body covered in fresh blood as usual. Ding Dian waited for the 4 jailers to leave before speaking in a low, solemn tone. Brother Di, the events of today were terrible and most unfortunate. One of my enemies recognized me. What? Asked Di Yun. Ding Dian replied, Every month on the 15th, the magistrate will issue a beating on me. But today, someone came to assassinate the magistrate. When I saw that the magistrate's life was in jeopardy, I could not help but save him. But because my body was confined by handcuffs and shackles, among the 4 assassins I only killed 3. The 4th escaped, and that will most certainly cause trouble. Di Yun felt more and more strange and asked continuously, Why does the magistrate insist on beating you? Since the magistrate is so brutal, if someone has come to assassinate him, why would you save his life? Who was the assassin that escaped? Ding Dian shook his head and sighed. I cannot tell you so many things at once, Brother Di. Your martial arts are frugal, and you have no strength. In the future, no matter what happens, you should not offer your assistance. Di Yun did not reply, but thought to himself. Okay, I'm thinking that this sounds like he's just making shit up. He wants to teach Di Yun his martial arts. So he's making up a story to do that. Di Yun did not reply, but thought to himself, Does he think I, with the surname Di, is a coward? If you take me as a friend, under desperate circumstances, how can I not assist you? Thereafter, Ding Dian remained in silent contemplation, except for the times where he would look up and stare at the flowers blooming outside the high window, where his face would show the slightest sign of a smile. All other times he would remain dull in thought. On the late night of the 19th, Di Yun felt uncomfortably hot in his sleep. Suddenly, he heard 2 strange sounds. He opened his eyes, and under the moonlight shone 2 stalwart men using a sharp weapon to destroy the iron fence outside the cell. Each of them wielded a saber embraced close to his body. Di Yun was shocked, unsure of what to do, but he saw Ding Dian standing firm with a cold laugh. The shorter man said, The one with the surname Ding. Our brothers have traveled from the edge of the sky to the corner of the ocean, searching for your whereabouts. Little did we know that you were hiding in an obscure prison in Jingzhou, like a tortoise shrinking its head in its shell. Thank heavens we finally found you. The other man said, Let's get straight to the point. If you hand over the book, we brothers will not cause you any trouble. In fact, we will break you out of prison immediately. Ding Dian replied, I do not have it. It was taken by Yan Da Ping 13 years ago. Upon hearing the 3 words Yan Da Ping, Di Yun's heart spiked. He thought, That is my second martial uncle. How is he involved in this? Ah. So remember, the second martial uncle is the most powerful of the three martial siblings, martial brothers. The short man shouted, "You think that just because you hid yourself in prison means you can get away from us? Go to hell!" He stroked forward with his saber, the tip pointing at Ding Dian's throat. Without dodging nor running, Ding Dian allowed the tip of the blade to get within a few inches of his throat. Then, at the last second, he ducked his body, which caused the shorter man to strike at the left side of the taller one. His elbow hit the taller man right in the stomach. The latter did not even let out a cry and collapsed to the ground. He stroked his saber. That he did. That he did. Kind of inappropriate in this situation, but you know. The short man aimed his saber back at Ding Dian, giving 2 strikes in his direction. Ding Dian raised both his arms and blocked the blade with the iron chain. At the same time, his legs were moving frantically in all directions and stepped on the body of the short man. The man spat out a huge volume of fresh blood and died immediately. Upon seeing that Ding Dian killed both men empty-handed in a split second, Di Yun could not help but feel astonished. Even though he no longer possessed any martial arts, what he witnessed just now, he realized that even if his abilities were renewed, and with a longsword in hand, he would not necessarily defeat the short man. And before the other man even joins in the fray, he would have died already. Their martial arts did not reveal any flaws in many stances, thinking that if the 2 men fought together, they would be quite formidable. Ding Dian also had his scapula pierced by the iron chain, yet he was still able to kill 2 formidable opponents in the matter of a few gestures. Di Yun admired him with the utmost respect. Okay, so it looks like he wasn't lying then. Before. Okay. Ding Dian threw the 2 bodies out of the cell, and began to sleep, leaning on the wall. The iron fence had already been broken, so if the 2 of them wanted to escape, now would be a great opportunity. But Ding Dian did not even say a word, and Di Yun also did not think that the world outside was any better than prison life. The next morning, the jailer saw 2 dead bodies outside the cell and shrieked in shock and terror. Ding Dian stared at the opposite direction, while Di Yun turned a deaf ear. The jailer carried the corpses outside without even asking what happened the previous night. Another 2 days passed, and Di Yun was awakened again by some strange noises. Feeling a bit hazy, he only saw that Ding Dian had extended both palms forward, matching them against a Taoist priest. What? Are the enemies gonna just keep on coming? It's gonna be fighting all day and all night. Feeling a bit hazy, he only saw that Ding Dian had extended both palms forward, matching them against a Taoist priest. The 2 stood there motionless. Di Yun had no clue that a Taoist had entered, nor did he know that the 2 of them were currently in an intense internal energy struggle. He once heard his teacher, his master, say that among the various forms of competing martial arts, competing internal energy is the most dangerous, for they would be exposed to any outside threat, and often the struggle would end in the life or death of one side. There was no easy way of stopping midway. Under the starlight of the night, he saw the Taoist slowly move forward 1 step, while Ding Dian slowly retreated 1 step backwards. After a while, the Taoist took yet another step forward, and Ding Dian moved another step backward. Di Yun saw that the Taoist was forcing his way through, slowly gaining the advantage. He was anxious, and suddenly went towards the Taoist and slammed the latter's and slammed the latter's head hard with his iron chains. The iron chain hit the Taoist right on the top of his head, but from somewhere the Taoist managed to unleash some strength and with brute force caused Di Yun to lose his balance and fall straight down. Di Yun banged his head hard against the wall and fell flat on his ass. He extended his hands to support himself back up, but in the darkness he accidentally hit a bowl. With a crack, the bowl was smashed and the water spilled all over his hands. He took the broken bowl and threw the half bowl of water on the back of the Taoist's head. In truth, Ding Dian's internal energy was much superior to that of the Taoist, and he only wanted to test the depths of his newly mastered technique. Not knowing exactly how powerful the technique was, Ding Dian wanted to experiment with it, and so he used the Taoist as his test subject. The Taoist had already begun to feel a bit weak in his veins, and felt a little bit burned out. Now, after being splashed by the half bowl of water, he was taken aback, and felt his opponent's internal energy rush through his entire body. Ka, 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 ka. Several exploding sounds were heard as his ribs, forearm, and leg bones were broken in half. Damn. He stared at Ding Dian and said, You have mastered the skills of the heavenly glow. Under heaven. This is unmatched. He slowly cuddled into a ball and died. Okay. Di Yun felt his heart pounding frantically and said, Brother Dian, your skills from the Heavenly Glow manual is actually so powerful. Is it truly unmatched under heaven? Ding Dian gave a dignified expression and replied, In a one-on-one battle, it is enough to rule the realm. But if the enemies attack all at once, it may not be enough to defeat them all. After the Taoist was crushed by my internal energy, he was still able to open his mouth and speak, which clearly shows that my martial arts have not yet reached the peak of perfection. Within 3 days, there will most certainly be truly formidable opponents visiting us. Brother D, will you offer your assistance to me? Di Yun thrived in exhilaration. I will do whatever Big Brother says, but I have lost my martial arts completely. Even if I have some strength left, I am much too weak to be of any use. Ding Dian gave a faint smile, and from the haystack picked up the blade that was left by the 2 assassins from the other day. Cut off my beard, and we will deceive them. Di Yun took the blade and cut off Ding Dian's beard. The blade was quite sharp, and even sliced a bit of skin off. Ding Dian collected the bits and pieces of his beard and held it firmly on the palms of his hand. Di Yun laughed and said, Haha, won't you miss the beard that you have so faithfully kept intact over the years? Ding Dian replied, That is not the case. I want you to disguise yourself as me. Di Yun questioned, Disguise as you? Ding Dian said, That is correct. Within 3 days, our enemies will arrive. The 5 of them are not my match in a one-on-one battle, but if all 5 of them attack at once, they will prove to be quite impressive. I want them to mistake you for me, so when they focus all their energy on attacking you, I will unexpectedly ambush them. Di Yun whispered, I'm afraid that is not very honorable. Ding Dian laughed heartily. Honor. In the realm, everyone is full of trickery and deceit. Everyone will ambush and lame you in every way possible. If you treat others with honor, wouldn't that just be seeking your own death? Di Yun replied, Although this is true, but... Ding Dian said, I ask you this. When you first entered prison, you cried loudly of injustice. I trust that you are indeed innocent. Yet why have you been imprisoned here for over 3 years without a way to prove your innocence? Di Yun said, I have never understood the reason. Ding Dian laughed. Whoever was the one who set you up is also the one who is preventing you from leaving this place. Di Yun said, That I never understood. I don't even know Wang Zhenshan's concubine Tao Hong, so naturally I have no misunderstandings or conflicts with her. So why did she frame me and cause me to lose everything that I had? But why did she cause me so much grief? Ding Dian asked, How did they set you up? Tell me about it. Di Yun continued shaving Ding Dian's beard as he told the story of how he went to Jingzhou to celebrate Wang Zhenshan's birthday, and how he defeated the unrighteous Lu Tong, how he got into a fight with the 8 disciples of the Wan clan, how his teacher stabbed his martial uncle and ran away, how someone harassed Wang Zhenshan's concubine, and how he tried to save her. He told him everything. The only part he omitted was the part where the old beggar taught him swordplay, because he swore an oath never to tell anyone about it. Besides, he did not consider this omission to affect his story at all, as it was mostly irrelevant. Is it? Is it, really? From start to finish, he told the entire story, and Ding Dian's beard was just about to completely shaved off. Di Yun sighed a few times and said, Brother Ding, the pain that I have to suffer every day, what was it good for? They insisted that my master killed Uncle Wan, yet Uncle Wan only suffered minor injuries and did not die. They imprisoned me for so many years and should have released me by now. To say they have forgotten about me is incorrect, for did the one with the surname Shun not come to see me? So Uncle Wan suffered only minor injuries. Was that a setup as well? Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, maybe Uncle Wan set the entire thing up. Oh, this thing is falling down. Maybe Uncle Wan set the entire thing up, guys. Maybe that's why, the concubine, the whole concubine thing. They set it up so fast. Okay. Okay, I think that's my working theory now. Uncle Wan setting the entire thing up. That's why, that's why the concubine was in on it. Okay. I think that makes sense. Yeah, because I thought he died, but if he didn't die, and he only suffered minor injuries, very suspicious. Ding Dian moved his head to the side, looked at Di Yun in one direction and then another, and sneered. Di Yun was puzzled and asked, Brother Ding, did I say something wrong? Ding Dian sneered. Right. Everything is right. What is there that isn't right? If that wasn't how it was, then it wouldn't be right. Di Yun became curious. What do you mean? Ding Dian said, Well, think about it. There was a dumb kid who brought along a beautiful girl to my house. When I saw the girl, I became infatuated. But the girl treats the dumb kid quite nicely. I want to claim the girl, and as such, I must get rid of the dumb kid. What can I do? Di Yun secretly felt a hidden meaning of mischievousness in his tone, and casually asked, What way is there? Ding Dian replied, If I use poison or a sword to kill the dumb kid, I will have set myself up as a criminal, and that will only cause me trouble. Furthermore, the beautiful girl is most likely a well-spirited girl, and does not have a death wish. In fact, she may even seek to avenge the kid. Wouldn't that be a problem? If you ask me, I would send the dumb kid to the officials and have them lock him up. Then the beautiful girl will follow me faithfully while hating the kid. How do we do this? First, we make it look like the kid has another love interest. Second, we make the kid appear to no longer like the beautiful girl. Third, we expose the kid doing some unrighteous deeds, and the girl will most certainly be filled with hatred. Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, that's true. That could be just Wan Gui's idea then. And maybe the martial uncle just wanted to, I don't know, frame the master. So they had two different plans, the father and the son, maybe. Ding Dian smiled. Wait, Di Yun's entire body shook violently. Everything you said, it was all the one with the surname Wan. It was all Wan Gui's idea? Ding Dian smiled. I did not see it with my own eyes, so how would I know? Your martial sister is quite pretty, is she not? Di Yun's mind was at a loss, and he only nodded his head. Ding Dian continued. For the sake of getting on the lady's good side, I naturally have to look busy, spending tons of silver to send to the prefecture, in hopes of coming up with a plan to set the kid free. The best case would be to have the lady come along with me to send the silver, so the lady can see everything for herself. She will naturally feel grateful. The silver is sent to the official, the magistrate, and the prefect was not put to waste. Di Yun said, Since he sent so much silver, wouldn't it have some effect? Ding Dian said, Naturally, money talks. How can it not have an effect? Di Yun said, Then why did they imprison me all this time and not release me? Ding Dian laughed. No, what crime did you commit? The crimes they framed you for were only attempted rape and thievery. It wasn't even arson or murder. So how severe can the crime be? They did not have to pierce your scapula, nor did they have to sentence you to life in prison. This was in fact the true intent behind sending so much silver. Excellent. This plan is flawless. Now the lady will live in my household, and even though the lady still thinks much of the dumb kid, can she really wait year after year and never get married? Di Yun lifted the saber, and with a loud bang, he smashed it on the floor. Brother Ding! So the real reason they never set me free was because of Wan Gui's silver? Ding Dian did not reply and looked up in deep thought. Suddenly he creased his eyebrows and said, There's something wrong. This plan has a serious flaw in it. This is definitely wrong. Di Yun replied in anger. What is wrong? My martial sister did end up marrying him, and if not for you, I would have committed suicide already. Is this not following the course of his plans? Ding Dian walked around the cell, constantly shaking his head, and said, However, there is still one glaring flaw. They were so careful in their planning. How could they not see this? Di Yun replied, What is the flaw? Ding Dian replied, Your master. After your master wounded your martial uncle, he fled. The name of Five Cloud Hand Wan Zhenshan is known throughout Jingzhou, so the news should have spread in a matter of days that he did not die and was only wounded. Even if your master no longer has any face to see his martial brother, would he not send someone to escort your martial sister back home? Once your martial sister returned home, wouldn't that foil the careful and meticulous plans of Wan Gui? Di Yun clapped his hands hard on his legs and said, Right, right. His hands were still in shackles. When he clapped his legs, the sounds of the iron chains vibrated in the air. He saw that Ding Dian's expressions was rough, seemingly lost in his own thoughts, and then let out an expression of admiration. Ding Dian turned his head and said softly, "Why did your teacher not retrieve his own daughter? There must be a very good reason for it. Wangui and the others should have already expected this, else they would not execute this plan. I have yet to figure out the trick behind this." It was not until today that Di Yun finally realized the truth of his imprisonment over the years. He repeatedly slapped himself on the head, cursing himself for being so foolish. It only took Ding Dian a few moments to figure it out, yet over 3 years he did not even have the slightest clue. After scolding himself for a while longer, he saw that Ding Dian was still deep in thought. "Brother Ding, you don't have to think about it so much. My master is an honest man from the countryside. Most likely, he was afraid after wounding Uncle Wan, so he ran off in a very far and desolate place. Hence, he did not receive any messages from the realm. That must be it." Is he actually dead? No, he can't, no. Master cannot be dead. No. He must still be alive. Ding Dian opened his eyes widely, stared at Di Yun, his face full of curiosity, then asked, "What? Your master is an honest man from the countryside. If he killed someone, would he be so afraid that he would run away?" Di Yun replied, "Correct, but my master's virtue and honesty was in vain, for Uncle Wan falsely accused him of stealing some sword manual from my grandteacher. From my grandmaster. In a fit of rage, he could not resist attacking him, but he really is a good man." He was getting his ass beat constantly in prison, so it makes sense that he couldn't figure this all out. Yeah. True. Ding Dian laughed coldly and sat at the corner of the cell, humming a small tune. Di Yun asked, "Why are you laughing?" Ding Dian replied, "Nothing." Di Yun said, "There must be a reason. Brother Ding, please tell me." Ding Dian said, "Very well. What is your master's nickname?" Di Yun replied, "He is called Iron Lock Across the River." Ding Dian asked, "And what is the meaning of it?" Di Yun hesitated for a moment before replying, "I do not know the meaning behind this title. I assume that it refers to his profound martial arts and strong defense. The meaning is that his opponents cannot easily get through his defense." Ding Dian laughed heartily. "Little brother, you are virtuous and honest, but Iron Lock Across the River actually means that if one wants to go up, one cannot go up, and if one wants to go down, one cannot go down. Who among the older generation of pugilists would not know the meaning of this nickname? Your master is smart and variable, impressive to the max. Whoever makes him angry, he will think of nothing but revenge. His opponents are akin to a ship entangled in the heart of a river, splashing around in all directions, unable to move up or down. If you don't believe me, when you leave this prison in the future, you can research this yourself." Di Yun naturally did not believe him. He said, "When my master taught me swordplay, he was mistaken in his explanations. What the lonely bird rises from the ocean, the pond does not dare to care. He explains it as Brother Wang shouts up, dare not cross the horizontal. What the sunset reflects the banner, the horse cries soughing winds. He explained as the falling mud welcomes big sister, the horse blows a little wind. He is not even literate. How could he make such intelligent changes?" Ding Dian sighed a few times. "Your teacher is quite knowledgeable. How would he explain the mnemonics incorrectly? He is marked by profound shrewdness, so there must be a reason behind the explanation. Why would he lie to his very own disciple? Outsiders will not know. If not for your profound virtue and honesty, he may not have taken you in as his disciple. Let us talk about this no further. Come, let me stick this beard onto you. All right. Do you think Ding Dian is the second brother? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, does it seem like he knows the master? Ding Dian said the second brother stole from him. He could be lying, couldn't he? Yeah. Or that statement could be not lying, because like you can maybe he's like, oh, I stole from myself. So technically that would be a correct sentence. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just a thought. Okay. Give me 5 minutes. Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. I will be right back. All right, we are back. He lifted his blade and chopped off one of the arms of the dead Taoist. The Taoist had not been dead for long, so the cut caused blood to gush out everywhere. Ding Dian smudged the beard with blood and stuck it onto Di Yun's cheeks and jaw. Di Yun could smell the sanguinary aroma of blood, and a cold shiver went down his spine. But upon thinking of Wan Gui's evil plans, his teacher's nickname, and many other things that he did not understand, he realized that the safest place in the entire world was, in fact, this very prison. You need to take a drive, Bigfoot? All right, have fun. That is so gross. What, using blood as glue? The following afternoon, 17 inmates entered the prison all at once. They were all tall, thin, and not very old. Each one of them seemed to be a figure from the realm, and the prison became fully packed. Oh no. Di Yun saw more and more people arrive and became very cautious, for he knew that these people were here for Ding Dian. Ding Dian had originally said 5 of his rivals would show up, but now 17 had shown up. Ding Dian stared at the walls of the cell the entire time, not paying the slightest attention to what was going on around him. The prisoners were quite noisy and shouted a lot, laughed loudly, and sometimes cursed at each other. Di Yun ducked his head and tried to listen to what they were saying. It turns out that these 17 people were from 3 different clans, talking about some valuable treasures. Di Yun gave a sideways glance to one of them, only to have them return expressions of contempt, so he became scared and quickly turned his head back. He thought, I am disguised as Brother Ding, but I have lost my martial arts completely. If I engage in battle, what should I do? No matter how strong Brother Ding is, he won't manage to kill all of these people. Upon seeing that the sky was getting dark, one burly prisoner spoke loudly. Let's make it clear first. The ones in charge here will be the ones from the Dongting sect. If anyone is not willing to submit, You should look at the insignia and not waste any time causing trouble. There were a grand total of 9 people from the Dongting sect. Hence, they were the overwhelming majority. One gray-haired, middle-aged man spoke in a cynical voice. To see the insignia under your hands is fine, but since all of us are here, why not take this fight outside until we come to an understanding? The man replied, We will fight in the courtyard then. Do you think I'm afraid? He extended his hands, grabbed onto the iron fence, and pushed to the left. The iron fence was instantly bent out of shape. Following that, he pushed on the right with his other hand, causing that fence to twist as well. His arm strength was astonishing. The man was about to escape through the opening of the 2 bent fences he just made, when suddenly, in front of him, he saw a dazzling figure blocking the gap. It was Ding Dian. He did not speak and grabbed the man by the chest. The man was taller than Ding Dian by half a head, but upon being grabbed, he instantly became weak and could not dodge. Ding Dian threw his enormous body out the iron fence of the cell and dragged him into the courtyard. The man huddled on the ground and no longer made a move. He was dead. The other people in the prison saw the odd shape of the man and became really afraid. Ding Dian casually grabbed another person and threw him out of the fence. He followed through and grabbed yet another and threw him out of the fence. He did this continuously for a grand total of 7 people. What were the other people doing? Whoever was grabbed by him was instantly killed without so much as making a sound. The 10 remaining in the cell were scared shitless. Among them, 3 were so afraid that they hid themselves in the corner. The remaining 7 decided to team up on Ding Dian at once, throwing many punches and kicks to his direction. Ding Dian did not fight back, nor did he dodge. All he did was extend his hands to grab. He would always be successful in grabbing someone, and whoever he grabbed would be instantly killed. Whether or not they felt pain before death, Di Yun did not know. In an instant, all 7 of them were dead. The remaining 3 men, still hiding in the corner, were so afraid that they thought they were going to have a heart attack. All at once, they dropped on their knees and begged for mercy. Ding Dian did not even look at their plea and simply threw each one of them out, one at a time, and they all died. Di Yun was left speechless, and his eyes glared in extreme shock. He thought he was flurried in a dream. Ding Dian slapped his hands together and sneered. These people, who don't even qualify, dare to attempt to steal a deadly secret. Huh? Wait, a deadly secret? That's the Ling Chung manual, right? Does he have it? Oh no, he's just saying that they dare to attempt to steal. Okay, maybe he doesn't have it. Di Yun did not know what he was talking about. Brother Ding, what is a deadly secret? Ding Dian seemed to feel as if he had regretted what he just said, but he did not want to make up lies to deceive him. He only laughed coldly several times, but did not answer. So this guy stole the manual from the master, from the Grand Master. Right? It seems. Di Yun saw that just a moment ago, those 17 men were as alive as any man could be. And now it was but a few moments later, and they were all dead corpses scattered all over the floor. In his entire life, he had never seen so many dead people grouped together at once. He let out a deep sigh. Brother Ding, did all these people here deserve to die? Ding Dian replied, To say they all deserve to die may be an overstatement, but they all harbored evil intentions. Had I not completed the elite skills of the heavenly glow, and if they all attacked me at once, That could have caused a whole lot of trouble. Li Yun knew that what Ding Dian spoke was the truth. You only casually grabbed each one of them, and that was already enough to kill. Such magnitude of power I have never heard of. If I told my martial sister about it, she wouldn't believe it. As soon as he said this, he stopped talking and wanted to take back his words. He felt his heart turn sour, as if his chest was hit hard by a fist. Ding Dian did not laugh at him, but only sighed several times, and spoke randomly to himself. Actually, although I have completed such exceptional martial arts, not everything always goes according to plan. Li Yun suddenly heard a sound, and he pointed his fingers at one of the dead corpses in the hall. Ding Dian asked, "What?" Li Yun replied, That person is not dead yet. I saw his legs move." Ding Dian was taken aback by his words, and only said, "For real?" As he said these words, his voice began to tremble. Li Yun said, Just now, I saw him move several times." Then he thought to himself, "Although that person is not dead yet, he suffered major injuries. What's the big deal? He can't fight anymore anyway." Ding Dian creased his eyebrows, as if he was just faced with a very difficult problem. He walked out through the gap in the iron fence and observed outside. Chi! Chi! Two very minuscule hidden projectiles were rapidly fired, aiming for his eyes. It was fired by the man who was still alive. Ding Dian quickly moved backwards. The two sleeve arrows nearly skimmed his face. His nose could smell an unusual aroma. It was most likely the case that the arrows were poisonous. After firing the sleeve arrows, the person stood up and escaped to the roof of the building. Ding Dian saw that the man's lightness techniques were formidable. Since he was confined by iron chains, he was not mobile enough to chase after him. Afraid that the man would get away, he quickly grabbed one of the corpses on the ground, pointed it in an upwards direction, and threw it in rapid haste. Awesome. With a loud bang, the head of the corpse smashed hard onto the waist of the escapee. The man's left leg had just landed on the roof of the building, but upon being hit by the corpse, he lost his balance and fell over. Ding Dian rushed forward several steps and grabbed the man by the neck and brought him back to the prison. He extended his hands to check for any breathing through his nose and realized that this time the man had really died. Ding Dian sat on the ground with both hands supporting each other and began to ponder. How come I did not manage to kill that man earlier? What is the flaw in my martial arts? Perhaps I have not fully mastered the techniques of the heavenly glow. For over half a day, he pondered the reason behind his failure. Under frustration, he reached his hands out for the wound in the chest of the man he just killed. Suddenly, he withdrew his finger in a tenacious and soft manner. Ding Dian felt surprised and remarked, Yes. He tore apart the man's clothes and exposed that the man was wearing a shiny black protective vest. He was wearing Kevlar. Ding Dian exclaimed, Yes, so that's the reason. And nearly scared me to death. Li Yun asked for clarification. Ding Dian sliced up the man's clothing and peeled off the black protective vest, then dragged the corpse out of the prison. He laughed and replied, Brother D, put this vest on you. Li Yun realized that the black vest was most likely something valuable, so he said, This is older brother's valuable. Younger brother will not be greedy for it. Ding Dian replied, If it is yours, will you not crave it? Li Yun could sense some severity in his tone, and was afraid that he would be mad if he refused. If Big Brother insists, then I will wear it. Ding Dian spoke with a straight face. I ask you, if it is not yours, do you want it? Li Yun said, Only if the owner insists on giving it to me. Otherwise, I will not take it. Else... Else, if it doesn't belong to me, naturally I won't take it. If I crave so much other people's belongings, will that not make me a thief or a robber? Di said this with a proud expression and continued, Brother Ding, you must understand. I was framed by others, hence I was held captive in here. My whole life I am free of guilt. I have never done anything unjust. Anything? Ever? Ding Dian nodded his head in agreement. Very good, very good. My friendship with you was not made in vain. Now, put this vest on you. Di could not express any more negativity, so he took off his upper garment and wore the black vest over his body. On top of that, he continued to wear the putrid outer garment that he had not washed in over 3 years. Oh my god. Both his hands were shackled by iron chains and locks, so changing clothes proved to be quite difficult. It was only with the help of Ding Dian tearing apart the sleeves of his old clothes did he manage to wear the vest. Now the black vest actually had 2 parts, front and back, and it had room for arms and buttons, so it was not hard to wear at all. Ding Dian waited for him to finish putting it on before speaking. This valuable garment is impenetrable by blades or spears. It was embroidered from dark silkworms on snowy mountain. Look, there are 2 sections to this vest. A blade could not slice it apart. The front section is buckled up together with the back. This man was an important figure in the Snowy Mountains sect. Else, he would not have a dark silkworm vest. He came with the intention of stealing our treasures. Little did he realize, he would be giving up his own treasure. Upon hearing that the black vest was indeed so precious, Di quickly replied, Big brother, you have so many enemies. You should really be the one to wear this instead. Besides, every month on the 15th. Ding Dian shook his head in disagreement and replied, I have the protection of the heavenly glow. I do not need the dark silkworm vest. The torture I suffer every month on the 15th is what I willingly concede to. If I wear this precious vest, it will go against my intentions. It is only a bit of external pain. It will not affect me internally. Why make a big deal out of it? Mithril? It's a mithril vest. Di felt exceedingly perplexed and continued to question. Ding Dian said, I told you to attach the beard to pretend to be me, and I will protect you from the side. I was only afraid of any accidents, for now that you have the vest, I am assured. Now I will recite to you the internal mnemonics of the heavenly glow. Listen carefully. All right, he's going to learn it, guys. Previously, when Ding Dian wanted to teach Di martial arts, the latter insisted on not learning it, but upon understanding the true reason for being framed into captivity, he had a heart that longed for revenge that he could not contain. He only wished he could get out of prison instantly to settle the score with Wan Gui. He saw with his own eyes how easily Ding Dian defeated many impressive martial artists in the martial world with nothing but his bare hands, and thought that if he could even learn 2 or 3/10 of his skills, then escaping prison for revenge would not be an impossibility. All of a sudden, he became terribly upset. His blood started to rush and heat up, and his face was flushed red. Ding Dian knew that Di was stubborn and would not learn his internal arts. He was just about to persuade him to, when suddenly Di dropped down on both knees and began to cry loudly on the ground. Brother Ding, please teach me. I must get revenge. I must get revenge. Ding Dian gave a long burst of laughter, the echoes vibrating the walls and roof of the building. You want revenge? How easy is that? After Di Yun's anger passed, Ding Dian immediately began to transfer him the entry mnemonics and methods for practicing the techniques. Upon learning these things, Di Yun wasted no time and constantly practiced it. Ding Dian saw that he was practicing really hard and laughed. Upon completing the heavenly glow, you will be unmatched under heaven. Do you really think it is so easy to complete? I had a variety of coincidences. My internal energy foundation was high, and yet it still took me 12 years to complete. Brother D, it is good to practice hard, but it is more important that you do not overwork yourself and produce counterintuitive results. You must have a sense of calmness, without feelings of distractions. Remember my words clearly. Although Di Yun still referred to Ding Dian as Big Brother, in his heart he had already treated him as his master, so no matter what he said, he would obey. But in his heart were raging emotions of hate, surging like waves. How could he find any inner peace? For several days, the jailer made a big fuss about nothing, shouting loudly. The guards, constables, and forensics were bothered for half a day, and not until late in the evening did they manage to carry out all 17 corpses. Ding Dian and Di Yun only said that those people died from battling against each other, so they did not pursue further. During the day, Di Yun followed the instructions of Ding Dian and executed the mnemonics of the technique. The heavenly glow entry mnemonics were not of great difficulty, but to find calmness and without the slightest bit of delusion was the hard part. Amidst his anger, Di Yun thought of his martial sister, Guan Gui, and his master. He practiced until night time before his heart felt a little convergence, when all of a sudden both his front and back were attacked at the same time. The two attacks were as powerful as two hammers hitting both sides at once. Di Yun drew blank and almost fainted until the pain became slightly numb. He cleared his eyes open and saw that in front of him a monk stood on each side. He turned his head and saw behind him another 3 monks, making 5 monks in total, encircling him in the middle. Oh, the monks have come. Oh no. Di Yun thought, the 5 enemies Ding Dian spoke of have arrived. I must remain strong and not show any signs of falter. Then he laughed heartily and said, Ha 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 ha! 5 honorable elders, what do you seek the one called Ding for? The monk on the left-hand side replied, Quickly, deliver a deadly secret over. You are... Suddenly, a loud bang was heard from behind, as the monk was hit strongly by a fist. He began shaking violently and almost fell over. Following that, the 2 more monks were also each hit by a fist, and each let out a crying sound and spat a mouthful of fresh blood. Di Yun felt very strange, and could not resist looking at Ding Dian's direction. He only saw that he attacked with a fist, and that was a fist that was soundless and looked invisible. The attack was initiated with superb speed, and attacked the chest of the 3rd monk. The 3rd monk let out a loud "ah!", moved back a few steps, and hit himself hard against the wall. The other 2 monks looked at Di Yun following his sight, went to the huddle of the dark corner of the cell, looking at Ding Dian. Both shouted in astonishment, Heavenly glow! Invisible divine fists! The 2 monks included the wounded monk, had already escaped through the fence over the wall. They ran away. The other monk carried the other monk to the other monk carried the other monk on the waist, who spat out blood, his hand returning to strike a palm on Ding Dian. Ding Dian countered with a fist of his own. The monk caught his fist and was forced to retreat a step. He caught another fist and retreated yet another step. By the 3rd fist, he was already outside the iron fence. The monk huffed and choked and ran a few steps and was forced to retreat another. His entire body was shaking as if he was drunk. He had no choice but to let go of the monk who spat blood on the ground, then ran for his life. But every step he crossed, his legs felt like it was dragging a piece of 1,000-caddy enormous rock. Each of his steps were heavy. By the time he walked 6 or 7 steps, he was so short of breath that his legs were gradually bending, and he fell on the floor, no longer able to get up. The 2 monks on the floor tried to struggle a few times, but could not move. Ding Dian said, "What a pity, what a pity. Brother Di, if you had not been looking at me, then the monk would not have escaped." Di Yun saw that the 2 monks died a painful death, and deep in his heart he felt sympathetic. He secretly said, "Letting the 3 monks escape is not bad. Brother Ding has killed way too many people." Ding Dian said, "You think that I am too ruthless, am I right?" Di Yun replied, I... His throat felt plugged and inverted. He could not speak. Ding Dian quickly helped him push the blood and massage for quite some time before the bottleneck in his chest began to relieve itself. Ding Dian said, You resent me for being cruel, yet the 2 vicious monks each hit you with a fist. Had you not been wearing the dark silkworm vest, you would not have survived. Look, this accident was the result of Big Brother's carelessness. I did not think that they would attack right away. I thought that they would first interrogate you. Ah, yes, they are extremely careful with me. They want to wound me first before interrogating me. They want to wound me first before interrogating me. He wiped off the attached beard on Di Yun's cheek and laughed. Those bald thieves were so scared their hearts almost beat out of their chest. They will not dare to come back again. He continued with a straight face. Brother Di, the tall monk who got away, his name is Bao Xiang. The fat one's name is Shan Yong. My first strike hit the one who was the strongest. His name is Sheng Di. The 5 of those monks are from Dark Qinghai cult's Blood Saber clan, and are quite formidable opponents. Had I not ambushed them in the dark, 1 against 5, I am afraid I may not have been able to take them all at once. Shan Yong and Sheng Di have been hit by my divine fists. Even if they don't die, they will not live for more than a few days. The remaining Bao Xiang is vicious and cruel in nature. If you ever encounter him in the realm, you must exercise extreme caution. After thinking for a long while, he continued, The master of the 5 monks I just mentioned is still alive, and his martial arts are extremely impressive. In the future, we will have to face him. Even though Di Yun had worn the protective vest, he was hit on both front and back simultaneously, so the damage was not minor. Only with the help of Ding Dian transferring him energy every day for over 12 days did he manage to recover. The next 2 years passed by quite peacefully. Once in a while, 1 or 2 foes from the realm would come to do battle, but Ding Dian disposed of them easily with either a fist or grab, and they would die instantly. In the past few months, Di Yun had continued to vigorously practice the heavenly glow, but his progress came to an imminent halt. No matter how hard he practiced, it seemed that he did not make any further progress. Is Di Yun still in Ding Dian cosplay? No. The cosplay was only for the monks, so he took it off. Fortunately, even though his shrewdness was not high, he had high determination and realized that such profound internal martial arts could not be learned so easily. With the help of Ding Dian coaching him from the side for many days, he eventually overcame his difficulties. One afternoon, he woke up and continued to practice as he usually would, when suddenly he heard a huh sound coming from Ding Dian. There was a hint of anxiety in his voice. After half a day, he heard him utter words to himself. Today it will not wilt. Changing it tomorrow will not be too late. Di-Yun was surprised and turned his body around and saw that Ding-Dian lifted his head, staring at the basin of flowers outside the window at the top of the cell. Since practicing the heavenly glow, Di-Yun's auditory system became a lot more proficient than what it was before. With one look, he could see 3 yellow roses in the basket, one of which was lacking a petal. He would often see Ding-Dian staring at the basket of flowers and be completely mesmerized during the day. Such has been the case for the past few years. He thought that since in prison there was not much activity, the sight of the flowers by the window would serve as entertainment for Ding-Dian, so he did not think it was very strange. But he saw that the fresh flowers in the basin had not bloomed yet, and did not look remarkable. The flowers will bloom in time, but inevitably had some residue, and should be cared for. From the jasmines in the spring wind to the begonias in the autumn moon, day and night there would always be a basket of flowers placed near the windowsill. Di-Yun recalled that this specific basket of yellow roses had been placed there for about 6 or 7 days. It was usually the case that it would have been changed, but this time it remained unchanged. Does Ding's lady live there? Seems like it. For the entire day and night, Ding-Dian had an irritable and restless state of mind. The following morning, the basket of yellow roses still remained unchanged, and at least 5 or 6 petals had already been blown away by the wind. Di-Yun could sense a bad omen deep within his heart, and saw that Ding-Dian's expressions were very negative. He said, "That person forgot to change the flowers this time. Come afternoon, that person will remember for sure." Ding-Dian shouted, "How could such a thing be forgotten? Impossible! Could it be that this person contrived this sickness? Even if it is indeed sickness, someone should still have been ordered to change the flowers." He kept walking around the cell, and his emotions could not stop surging. Di-Yun did not dare to further pursue the matter. Instead, he sat down cross-legged and continued to practice in peace. By nightfall, the clouds were ubiquitous and dark, a sign that it was inevitably going to rain soon. After a while, a cold breeze blew through, and the 3 yellow roses lost a bunch of petals again. In the past several hours, Ding-Dian had not kept his eyes off the basket of flowers. With every petal that was blown away, his expression changed for the worst. He felt bitter and miserable, the pain even worse than having the flesh ripped right off his bones. Di-Yun could no longer resist questioning him. "Brother Ding, why are you so restless?" Ding-Dian turned his head over, his face full of anger, and yelled, "Why does it concern you? Why talk so much?" Ever since he taught Di-Yun his martial arts, he had never treated him so rudely. Di-Yun felt somewhat apologetic and wanted to say a few words of resolution, but upon seeing that his expression was full of desolate intent and that of a person who suffered some sort of mournful grief, he did not say a word. That night, Ding-Dian still did not sit down to rest. Di-Yun only watched as he traveled back and forth around the cell. As the shackles around his legs inevitably caused a lot of rattling noises, Di-Yun could find no way to sleep peacefully. The next morning, there was some restless, inclined drizzle. In the twilight of dawn, he could see the basket of flowers. He saw that the petals of the 3 yellow roses had all wilted, and that all that was left in the basket was the stems of the flowers that stood motionless against the wind and rain. Ding-Dian shouted, "Dead? Dead? Are you really dead?" With both hands, he grasped hard onto the iron fence, shaking it violently. Di-Yun said, "Big brother, if you long to see this person so much, why don't we go and have a look?" Bells for the flowers? Why not? Ding Dian roared. Look? Can I look? If I could, I would have gone a long time ago. Do I still have to remain stuck in this stupid cell? Di Yun did not really understand. His eyes were wide open, and he did not make a noise. In the middle of the day, Ding Dian held his head with both hands and sat down without making a noise or a move. He did not eat or drink. His ears heard the sounds of gongs. Huh? What? He did? He heard our gongs, guys. His ears heard the sounds of gongs, signaling the first watch of the night. In the peace of quiet, time passed quickly. Soon more gong sounds were heard. It was the second watch. Ding Dian slowly got up and said, Brother, we will have a look. He said this in a peaceful tone. Di Yun replied in concurrence. Ding Dian extended both his hands to grab onto the iron fence and lightly moved them in opposite directions. The resulting force caused the two rods of the iron fence to bend out of shape immediately. Ding Dian said, Keep your iron chains in check and don't let it emit any noise. Wait. Ding Dian said, Keep your iron chains in check and don't let it emit any noise. Di Yun complied and grabbed onto his iron chains. Ding Dian walked near the edge of the wall and began to climb. He whispered, Jump up! Di Yun followed and began to scuttle his way up the wall. But in his haste, he forgot that his scapula was still pierced by the iron chains, and his entire body was incapable of producing any strength. With one jump, he could not manage to reach a height of more than a meter. Ding Dian extended his hands to grab onto Di Yun and threw him on top of the wall. The two leapt downwards simultaneously. After passing the wall, there was another extremely high wall in the way. While Ding Dian could probably get over it, Di Yun had no way of exceeding it. Ding Dian groaned, then leaned his back against the wall. He heard some rustling sounds as some silt fell over, and the bricks too fell in small fragments. Di Yun's vision felt obscured, and then he could only see that on the wall there appeared a huge hole, and Ding Dian was nowhere to be seen. It turned out that Ding Dian used the remarkable internal energy techniques of the heavenly glow to crack through the wall. Di Yun felt both astonished and pleased as he hurriedly rushed through the hole in the wall. There was an alley outside. Ding Dian gave us a hand gesture, and from the alley they walked to the end. Exiting the alley, they arrived at the streets. It seemed that Ding Dian knew the streets and alleys quite familiarly. After walking past a street and two alleys, they arrived at the entrance of a family's iron shop. Ding Dian raised his hands and pushed. With a loud bang, the front gate of the store collapsed instantly. The blacksmith in the store became frightened. He jumped up and yelled, "There is a thief!" Ding Dian grabbed the blacksmith by the throat and whispered, "Light the candle." The blacksmith did not dare to disobey, and so he illuminated a lamp. He saw in front of him two men with long hair drooping down to their shoulders, their faces full of facial hair. They had the appearance of vicious men. How could he dare to move? Ding Dian declared, "Unbound us from our iron chains and shackles." The blacksmith figured that the two men were most likely criminals that escaped from prison. He thought that if he were to free them from their confinements, and if the government officials pursue the matter, he would most certainly be punished, so he could not help but hesitate. Ding Dian extended his hand and grabbed onto a thick strip of iron, returned and hacked on it a few times. With a loud bang, it split into two pieces. He said, "Tell me, is your neck as hard as this?" That's a pretty cool line. I like that. The blacksmith felt as if he had just seen the devil. If he wanted to break the iron strip, he should have used a chisel sledgehammer. Then he would have only to Then he would only have to stir a little while. But upon seeing that this man was strong enough to simply raise his hands and casually break the iron strips, he was certain that the man could easily snap his neck in half. So it was no longer appropriate for him to stay stubborn. He repeatedly said, "Yes, yes," and produced a steel chisel and iron hammer, and helped unbound Ding Dian and Di Yun from their shackles. All right. The first thing Ding Dian did was remove the iron chain which pierced his scapula. Upon pulling out the iron chain from Di Yun's scapula, the latter was in so much pain that he nearly fainted. Finally, Di Yun held in both hands a bloody iron chain and stood in front of the anvil. He thought of the restrictions of the iron chain that he now held in his hands. He was stuck in a dark world without justice for a hardship of over 5 years. Until today, the iron chain had confined his body. He could not help but feel emotions of delight and sadness at once, and in a daze, tears soon dripped from his eyes. Woohoo! That was chapter 2. How did you guys like that? All right, he escaped. Yes, he finally is out of the prison. So it does seem like the Wan family, including the martial uncle Wan Zhengshan. Yeah, so they planned the entire thing, right? It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like they plan to frame the master of attacking the martial uncle, and they plan to frame Di Yun. You're a fan of Ding Dian throwing a guy like a football and kill another guy? Hell yeah. Some good shit. And we met a friend, okay? Man, like Wuxia characters, like main characters, they just get helped by everyone. Everyone they meet, they just get taught a new martial arts. So Di Yun got taught by the beggar at first, and now he's getting taught by Ding Dian. And they're both like super powerful guys. Yeah. And what do you guys think about the marshal's sister? Is she really, did she really want to marry the guy, or is she just forced to do that? And why didn't she come to see Di Yun? Why? Why? Right. Well, I like it so far. Wait, is this the one that I opened? Oh yeah, it is. Maybe she knew his cellmate. Da, 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 da. All right, cheers. She's been misled. She doesn't know the truth. Well, I know she's been misled. But does she really want to marry the guy, or is she being forced to do so? Is the question. Maybe her dad was in on the plan, so she would marry Wan instead of Di Yun? No way. I can't believe that. No. Yeah, I still think the master is a good guy. Okay. Unless the master was the one who stole the manual, but I don't think so. I think I thought that at first that was a possibility, but now I think the master is actually a good guy and he's being tricked. Yeah, he's being framed by the martial uncle. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a good story so far. Thanks for listening to it with me. And I hope you will join me next time. All right. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.